So, take two, because the button didn't work. We are going to be playing a start of the sort of campaign of the Blitzkrieg, John and myself tonight. And we're doing scenario 1 out of the Battle of France. And it's a reconnaissance meeting of 2 patrols. So we've only got 500 points each. And it's supposed to be in a wooded area, so that's what we've gone for on the table. So you can see the woods and a bit of hedging and some hills that run through it. And scenario 1 is a spotting mission, really. It's for the officer or an intelligence unit to spot and identify the opposing forces. So you get points for what units you spot. Sadly, though, if your officer is killed, he obviously hasn't passed it on the radio, and you don't score any points for those units that you've actually identified. So that's what we're going to be playing. And let's have a look at the armies. I'll go through mine first. We'll go slowly around so that you don't get too busy, and we'll try and find them again. Right, there's mine. They're sort of hiding up against the front. Let's move them back a bit. So reading up on it, it is the German Army Group B with 3rd and 4th Panzer Divisions, which met a bit of the BEF. So let's have a look at what we got tonight. We've got a second lieutenant and his mate, and we've got a man with his anti-tank rifle and his spotter, and we've also got a medium machine gun, the 3 men. Then the infantry sections, there are 2 8-men here, regulars, and they've got an SMG for the NCO and a light machine gun. Then we've got 1 unit of 6, what was that, 7? 7 here, with NCO with a submachine gun. And then to the far right we've got a pioneer unit of 5 men with SMGs. Yep, so that's about it. It's 500 points for this scenario. So let's have a look at what John's got. Righto, John.
Right.
Run us through.
Okay, we've got 3 units of infantry regulars, 10 men, rifles and 1 Bren in each unit, and officer, a artillery observer, which we're not actually going to use as artillery observer. He's just actually going to be just another man, because obviously the scenario isn't really set up for, if you're doing reconnaissance, you wouldn't lay down loads of artillery because they know you're there. And a recce Bren gun carrier as part of the force, and they're based around the 51st Highland Division.
So, just as well I bought an anti-tank rifle. So see if we can take out the carrier. Anyway, that's the squads, and it's more or less a setup to start off the board and then try and spot each other. It's got a night fight scenario, so we might have to have a look at that and have a nose. So, into turn 1, and it's it's night, so visibility is seriously reduced, and we've run on, and visibility is 24 inches, but you got the night rules that are in play. So at the moment, I don't think we can see anyone at all because we're a bit far away. But the British are spread out across the back base, and the Germans have deployed in 2 sections. So we've got the one over here with the officer behind the heavy machine gun, and then we've got the anti-tank rifle and 2 squads over here. I've put the anti-tank rifle on because how the dice ran, it meant that John had to bring his recce carrier on. So I've brought on the anti-tank rifle opposite. But again, it's I'm on the wrong side of the wood because the wood is blocking the line of sight at the moment. So we roll a dice at the beginning of the turn. So roll a dice, John, in the middle. Yeah, roll it in the middle of the table, and we'll see if the flare goes up. On the 4+, the flare goes up.
No.
No.
Night.
So still night time, and the flare hasn't gone up. So we'll move into turn 2 and see what's happening. So first shots of turn 2. My first dice out is for the anti-tank rifle team, and they've advanced up behind the hedge, and we're going to have to take a shot. Now, do I roll to hit first?
No, you do. This is to see whether you can actually see it.
It is to see it, right? So it's 2d6.
5.
I don't think that's going to be very good.
No, so I've not put a dice on it, so you get nothing for that.
Right, so
down order. There's no muzzle flashes.
No.
It's not a small unit, but it's
Nope.
a vehicle. So you get +6 to that.
Good. That
Goes
takes me to 11.
And unfortunately, you need 20.
Uh-huh.
It is. It's equal to the distance, so it's 22 inches, so you needed to get 22.
22, okay. So I've not seen him.
But what we do now, we put a
Muzzle flash.
to say that unit has, in fact, fired.
Oh dear.
So I now get a plus for seeing it.
Right, okay, then that's given my position. So into
away.
turn 2, and we got to remember the flare didn't go up, so we're at night.
I've got my spot in yet.
Oh yeah. John's got to do some spotting. Let's have a quick, just a quick recap to the end. John didn't advance his little unit over there. I've pushed up the pioneers to the left, forgetting that they could be out in the open if a flare comes off in the next turn, in turn 3. I put the medium machine gun on ambush just in case of the flare and they come over the hill. I've moved up the squad into the wood and ran my officer up to the hedge line, so he's got a chance to see
2 units.
2 units.
You can see that
All right,
one,
yep.
That one, that is just over 24.
And you can see 2. So my officer could see 2 units. So the men in the woods and the recce carrier. Well, possibly could see because we're still at night. Couldn't see the officer because he's out of sight. He was too far away, and the unit in the wood is too far away. And I've just pushed these up a little bit forward. I decided not to shoot with this unit on the right because that would have given a muzzle flash. So looking at the end of the turn is when the officer's going to have an opportunity to spot. So mine tried to spot the ones in the wood and failed, but for the second roll to spot the carrier, I rolled double 6. And +6 for the vehicle, and +6 for the muzzle flash, and +6 for the order dice. Took me to 30, so I could easily see the recce carrier in my night glasses. So I got a spot. So now John has got a chance to spot.
I'm not going to roll because there's no way I can see you.
There's no way, you sure?
Well, no, because the only plus I'm going to get is a 6.
And I'm small team.
Well, even on him. If he didn't do small team, I can get 6.
Yeah.
I can roll 12,
yeah.
18.
18. Alright. Excuse me.
Oh, that one, no, that one I might. But that might go up by 6, but then it'll come back down by 6. Because you're a small target.
Yeah. Alright, so no spotting to you. No. So into turn 3. Right, let's see in turn 3 whether the flare comes up.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a flare, so everything is treated as daylight. That's going to be interesting on this one. So end of turn 3, and there's been a bit of I'm in an R-in, and well, let's have a look. On the left-hand side, I've pushed up the pioneers on the left-hand flank. They're veterans. Across the way is a squad of British regulars, and John's artillery guy over the back end. I've got the medium machine gun on ambush just in case that they popped their heads up. Remember, this is daylight now. Well, this is flare light, so everything is visible. Centre, I've moved up the unit into the woods. Officer's still where he is. It's not a pin marker, this one. This is to say he's spotted that one unit and identified it. Anti-tank rifle in the middle. Moved up an infantry section, and we'll talk about that one in a little bit. And then over this side, I've pushed up this other unit. So, first dice out was John's, and he advanced up his unit here into the wood. And we're talking 10 men with the British rapid fire rule. And he's shooting at my officer. Now, the game needs the officer to spot the other units. And if I haven't got an officer, I'm going to be killed. So the question that we had, and it's not actually in the scenario for number 1, is if I put my officer down, does he be able to spot at the end of the turn? So we ummed and ahed on this, and we were thinking about, well, a mortar, the artillery observer is down unless he's got a dice by him. So that was what we were thinking. So, and if he hasn't got a dice by him, he's down, so he wouldn't be spotting. And when he's got a dice next to him, he spots. So we thought, well, okay, he's down. So if he's down, he's hugging the ground and he's not looking around spotting units. So it was a risk that I took. So I put him down. And John did score 3 hits, even though it was 6s followed by 6s. So that would have been he would have got 3 hits on him, but he didn't, which was fortunate. So yeah, it would have been 6s followed by 6s, but if I hadn't gone down, it would have just been 6s, and he rolled 3 6s. So it probably did save him. So that was that. My anti-tank rifle missed the carrier, and then the last bit was over here. I advanced this section in the wood up and took a shot at. No, I didn't. Did I shoot? Yes, I did. Advanced the infantry unit, the one in the woods, and I fired at the officer and missed. And that had quite a lot of dice because it's got an LMG. I wanted to put him down because otherwise he was going to get a good spotting of me. There's possible good spotting of me this time. And he took the gamble and stayed up. So I had to then and ah whether I would going to bring up the second unit to take a shot at him, knowing that he's going to get a chance to identify my unit, which is going to put him up probably 1, 2, 3, 4 units to my 1 spotted, which is a real problem.
Should we have a look?
So let's have a look. Anything within 24 of your officer. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 units.
Say 3 actually. I think that's
So you're just out? Oh, right,
I mean,
so
never count
3.
the first turn as being in.
Yeah, so 3.
3 units.
3 units spotted. Irksome.
What we haven't done also is I've got ambush on that, so I've got a chance to fire.
Oh, we've got ambush on that one? Okie dokie. So on a 4+.
4+, it fires,
Yep,
doesn't it?
4+, it fires. Yep, it fires.
It can fire the infantry in front of it.
Okie dokie.
Is it 4 dice or 5? 4, isn't it?
Yep, so all I'm going to get is long range and cover.
3,
So
4, 5.
5, so yep.
1 hit.
Yeah, 1 hit. And 4s.
1 dead.
Yeah, 1 pin and 1 dead. Right, okie doke. Into turn 4. Let's roll the dice and see if there's a flare still up or if it goes.
Still up?
Yep, flare is still up.
Oh, didn't
Bright
like that.
daylight. Yay! Now we've got to do some work. So, into turn 4. Into turn 4. And John's officer has run away behind the wood.
No, he's tactically redeployed.
Tactically redeployed. He's run behind the wood so that he can't get killed. So he knows 3 units are in play. Nothing much done here. The recce carrier took a shot at my officer and did miss, and he's run into the woods. This unit took some shots at the infantry unit in the woods and killed 1 and put a pin on them, but they did pass their test because fortunately the officer who had run away was just within 6 and gave him the +1. So yeah, and John returned fire and sort of honours even there that I did kill 2 as opposed to his 1. Yeah, so that's. I've tried to put a lot of pins on this unit in the wood here. I got 3 pins on it, but John rallied it this turn, so they're back up to running around, and moved the officer into the wood because I'm hoping that I'm going to be within 24 to spot the ones on the hill and the ones in the wood there. Yeah, this is an interesting one. The ones on the hill. I moved up the pioneers to the edge of the hill so they couldn't be seen, so John couldn't charge them. So he popped them up on top of the hill to take a shot at mine. Quite good tactically, really, because it negated the pin he was going to get from my medium machine gun. It was a pretty poor medium machine gun fire, and I think, did I kill 1? Killed 1 and put 1 pin, which then meant John was able to take a shot at the pioneers. I was really lucky. John got 8 hits with the British section and failed to score a 5 with any of the 8 dices. So I was living very perilously close to the edge there. On the far side, the artillery spotter is doing a runner across the board. So he's trying to keep himself safe. So that was the end of turn 4. Going to see now how many units I can spot with my little officer. 2 units. Yeah, already spotted that. So 2 units. So I'm now up to spotted 3. So we're 3 all now with units spotted. However,
I think I've only got 2 units left to be spotted.
2 units left to be spotted. Yeah, see, that's the trouble, isn't it? I've got more units than you, so that gives you an opportunity to spot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's...
Not while I'm hiding behind a
No,
wood.
no, not when you hide behind a wood. However, my officer is a little bit out in the open now, having copped those 2 units for spotting. So, he is a bit of a risk. But we're hoping for a night fight to come back up, and no flares. So do you want to roll a dice in there, John? 4.
Yeah.
Flare.
4
So it's still daylight, yeah. Yep, still daylight. Another flare is up in the air. So visibility all round. Now this is gonna be really interesting in this next turn. So into turn 5, and we're still spotted 3 all. Are our officers within 24? I don't think they probably are.
What's that?
The distance between them.
No.
Your officer to my officer.
There's a wood.
Ah, there's a wood. Okay, then they can't be seen anyway.
Your officer.
Yeah, no line of sight. We're good.
Can only see. Oh, I don't know what.
Oh.
No, you can't.
No,
see
just
them.
out.
You just can't see them.
All right, so it's still 3-3 on the spotting side. Excuse me. Oh, this coffee is horrendous. So, at the end of the turn, John has moved his officer out to the right because he's under pressure, and he's got to come out and play.
Yeah, got to try and get these.
I've only got 2 units to be able to spot, and one of them is in the woods, so I've got to start to move my way over that side. So that's what I've done. I've brought my officer out over here, but he could only go 6 because he had to go through the wood. This unit here, I've put took a shot at the... no, they went down, didn't they?
They went down, yeah.
This unit went down because they were taking some shots, and I was thinking that he would kill 3 out of the 6, and I'd take a leadership test, and I'd probably fail it. I was feeling very
panic-stricken.
Panic-stricken. Yep. My glass was totally empty on that one. I don't know why I took that decision. I should have just stayed up. This unit here took a shot at the guys in the wood, killed one, put 1 pin on. Ambush. Do I want to leave him on ambush, or do I want to take a pot shot at your
Might be worth it.
officer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I could have triggered that ambush as he ran across, couldn't I?
Yeah, so I let you do that.
Yeah.
You could have done.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that?
Yeah, go on then.
Range is 23.
23. 23?
23, long range 4.
Yeah, soft cover.
Soft cover 5, single target 6.
Oh, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Go on, roll it away.
Got to be. Nah.
Nah.
So he fires. Oh, I needed a 4+ anyway. Yeah, got the 4+. Yeah, so he takes a miraculous run across, and the anti-tank rifle round whistles past his ear. So he was safe. Over here, this unit failed its leadership test. I was going to try and bring it back, because what I've done is I've pushed up the medium machine gun to try and deal with this unit in the wood, and I wanted to bring back this unit to make them a little bit more safe, because again, we're down to 5 men there. So John's still got a reasonable fire output from his 5 men. So I wanted to bring them back, but I failed a leadership test and they've gone down. So they're a little bit out in the open, and I think that's why John's bringing out his officer to get him perhaps in a position where he can spot another unit. Over here, things didn't go well for John. Over on this side, I got the dice out, and the pioneers have advanced up the hill. The first dice came out for the Germans, and that was what I did. Moved the pioneers up on top of the hill, took a shot, and John went down to try and save the wounds, which he did, which was quite good. Took a few, but did save a number. So they've got 2 pins on them, and the red bar just means that they've been spotted. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting when the first dice comes out. So is it going to be flare light and full visibility, or is it going to be dark? Flare, wow.
No.
Flare, oh, back to full daylight. Well, oh, God.
Running out of flares by now.
You would have thought they'd been running out of flares. Right, so, into turn 6. The turn 6, and there's going to be some interesting tallying coming up. Over here, John managed to get his unit out of 24-inch range for my officer to spot. I took a little silly little thing I did. I had the 2 units over here to be able to take shots at the units to put pins on, and that's what I was trying to do. I got a pin on it with the medium machine gun, and then I could have used the unit which didn't have a pin, but the unit over here had 1 pin but had greater firepower, and it didn't matter about greater firepower, it just mattered about a pin. So I took a shot with these with the greater firepower, but failed the leadership test and they went down, which then meant that the dice came out and John was able to scoot across the wood and just get out of the 24-inch range. That was a bit silly. That was a bit silly over there. However, on this side, we have got us a Tommy prisoner, and John did try with a unit that was behind the hedge to knock me down to be able to release the prisoner. However, he only managed to kill 1 and put 1 pin on them. However, this unit, which is in the wood here, managed to kill 3 of the 5 remaining British, and then John rolled double 6s for his leadership test. That was very sad for John there. So they've run away. However, his officer could well be within 24 to spot another of my units.
Yep.
Which he does. Alright, so that gives you 4 units that you've spotted, doesn't it?
Yes, and you 3.
And me 3. So
you killed 2.
we've got to now see if it's going to go into turn 7. Do you want to roll dice there, John? And it does go into turn 7. So, yeah, interesting to see where we're going to go with this one then.
Not a lot left.
There's not a lot left. Tactical withdrawals, I think, but not a lot left. Yeah, I've still got a chance to escape with my prisoner, because that gives me 3 points. I've only spotted 3 of John's, so that gives me 1 point. So I've got 4 points, and I've got 2 units killed. So that gives me 6 points against John's 4.
No, you got 3 points.
No, 1 point.
3 units spotted, so that's only 1 point.
That's only 1 point.
2 dice, 3 points. Yeah. And my capture is 6 points.
6 points.
And I'm on
2 points.
2 points.
2 points.
So yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, 6-2.
Yes.
But you could get it back to 3-2 if you killed that unit.
Or I kill your officer.
Or you kill my officer.
No, even if I kill your officer, it don't make no difference.
No.
I've got to kill that unit.
Got to kill that unit. That's going to be hard.
Wow, it's going to be very hard.
That is going to be very hard. LMG's only got the
I've only got that.
Ricky Brent's got lucky shot.
Yeah, but I've got 4 shots. I've got to get 4 hits and then 4 points.
That is true. And if I get the first dice off, I'm behind the hill. Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's try on turn 7 then. So rolling at the start of turn 7 to see whether there's going to be a flare or not.
No flare.
No flare. Where's it? Oh, back tonight. Oh, that could have saved me bacon. Yeah, I think that saved my bacon.
6-2.
6-2. The dice gods were not good for John on that last turn 7. With the night fighting rules again back into play, it meant that the carrier failed to see the unit on the hill, and they've run off with their prisoner. So they've grabbed the prisoner and run. So with all the rest, tactical withdrawal from the reconnaissance patrol, and they're all coming back. John moved his unit to the far side of the wood so I couldn't see them, and he realised that his officer doesn't have a pistol or anything because he hasn't modelled one and he doesn't come with one, so he wasn't able to shoot anyone. So yeah, it was a fun bit there, wasn't it?
Just a scenario rather than a...
Yeah, nice to do something different. And we'll be looking to do the next scenario for this little mini campaign in these ones in bolt action before we test ourselves with chain of command, I think. So yeah, a little bit different and yeah, fun with a strategy for the different things within the scenario. The spotting, we thought spotting was going to be more useful but it doesn't seem to be because you don't get as many points. You don't get 1 point for each unit spotted. You get 1 point for every 2 units spotted. So that made it a little bit more difficult.
The flares went off more often.
And the flares went off more often. Yes, they did, didn't they?
I think first turn.
Yeah, first turn.
First turn of actual gameplay they didn't.
No, because that was always night.
The rest of them had flares.
Yeah.
Three turns.
Yeah.
Which yeah.
Yeah, that did make it a bit different. So much for night fighting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Well, that was good to play something different. Normally we're playing with a view to do a tournament, or we're having a pick-up game. So we've just said 1,000 points each, and then we take whatever armies we like. So yeah, nice to get into some of the campaign books, because we bought load, and we really need to start to play some of them. And we thought, well, yeah, let's do 1940 in France. So yeah, tucked into that, and a good little start. So I think on Sunday coming we'll get another game. That'll be the game 2. So what are our thoughts on the game? Yeah, interesting. We're using very low powered forces at the moment, so that's good. No heavy hitting tanks, and it worked really well with the night fight, with the randomness of the starburst shells to give us a view over the battlefield. A couple of little things that we had to sort out, which was spotting by the officers, because obviously the rules say you can spot within 24 inches. So we then worked out, yeah, well, we need to look at it and make sure that it's working within the spotting rules for shooting, and that seemed to work okay. That was fine. We sorted that out. Game wise, yeah, good fun. I took a little bit of risk. He who dares rodders. If you've ever seen Only Fools and Horses, and that was a bit of a risk with the pioneers on the left flank, and I nearly came undone. And unfortunately for John, I just got the bit of luck with the dice coming up first, plus his awful shooting with 8 hits, and he doesn't kill one. Absolutely terrible rolling there. So yeah, a couple of little dice rolls which didn't go John's way, but yeah, good fun, and we'll continue on with our little campaign in the next video. So hopefully you liked it. Any comments, stick them down below, and I'll give an answer, and look forward to the next game. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends if you think they'd like it, and again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and go to my subscriber giveaway for 1,000 subscribers, and comment on that video to get yourself in with a chance to win the Airborne Army, and hit that notification button so that you know when my next video up is coming up. I tend to try and get one once a week, so get the notification going, and then you know when it's up and out. Anyway, until the next game, have fun.